And did you find it hard to make friends here?
I was fortunate enough that my child was at school, so I met people through school. I think it would be difficult if you didn't have school-aged children.
Yes, I've definitely got a tribe. Found one, made one, have one.
I did have to put myself out there and sort of be a bit desperate.
A lot of people tend to move to the Highlands and reinvent themselves. So what you see is not necessarily the genuine kind of person.
Well, it takes a couple of years, but you filter through and you find your people.
Started up a book club. We really do talk about the book, but of course we have wine.
Welcome to So Highlands, a new provocative podcast from an old school local, Nicole Smith, and self-confessed transplant, Rachael Oakes Ash. It's the podcast that says what we're all thinking, because regional living comes with its own conversation. Recorded on the land of the Gundungurra people.
Take 367.
Welcome to So Highlands.
I'm Rachael Oakes Ash. I'm here with Nicole Smith, who is a counsellor in her regular job, but has a disclaimer.
Because the views I express here are my personal views, not those of Wingecarribee Shire Council.
And Nicole's views are not my views.
Sometimes they're
Or sometimes they are, yes.
views.
And probably today quite a lot, actually, in this episode, because we are talking about tribes, friendships, community, etc. How do you find your tribe? Is it easy to find a tribe in the Southern Highlands? Is it difficult? Do you have to join a club? Do you have to bring your own tribe with you? Do you have to go to a school? How did you find your tribe, Nicole?
Well, it was probably easier for me to start off with because of two reasons. One, I'd grown up here, and so when we moved back, I did know some people. There was people here that I'd gone to school with who'd also maybe moved back or maybe hadn't left. And then also I had young children. And so I think that's a really great way of meeting people, because suddenly you're thrown into this place with lots of other people with kids the same age. But
do you actually find your tribe through that, though? Because I've chatted to quite a few people in the past week about how they've met people here. Most of them go, obviously, through school. I had kids at school, and that's how I created my friendship group. But do they become your tribe once your kids have left school? Are you still friends with them? Are your value systems the same? Or are you just friends because of the school?
Well, I think great point. And you're giving me flashbacks of when I finished year 12 and I was
Did you finish year 12? That's amazing.
You wouldn't know, would you?
God, yeah.
And I finished year 12 and I was, devastated. And I'm like, these people are going to be my friends forever. And my dad said to me at the time, Nicole, you will find that at each stage of your life, in school, in uni, in work, you will keep maybe one or two people as friends from that stage. And I'm like, oh, my God, Dad, you've got no idea.
But I feel like you kept one. I feel like you kept one from Barrel High. I also, do you think that you lost all the others because of the uniform debacle that you tried to introduce?
It wasn't a debacle,
What was
Rachel.
it? Tell me what you did.
It wasn't a debacle. It was very well liked.
What was it?
Okay, so I was on school council, and one of the things I introduced, so I went to Barrel High public school, and one of the things I really campaigned for and introduced was more full-on school uniform. Blazers, ties, stocking.
God.
It was very popular. I rang Lisa. Lisa, my best friend from school, and said, Lisa, do you remember how I introduced that? And she said, yes, it was great. And we wore blazers. I said, Rachel said it wasn't popular. And
I wasn't at your school. How would I know?
And Lisa said it was popular.
Yeah, but Lisa's not going to say no to you. She's the opposite of you. She's nice and sweet and introverted. Sorry, I meant introverted. That sounded horrible. That just came out so bad.
Anyway, it was a great policy.
Is it still there today? I've never seen anyone wear a blazer from Barrel High.
They do when they go at their special events and things.
So why did you introduce Barrel blazers and ties? Was it like
it was about having
pride?
No.
What was it?
It was about having pride in the school and presenting well, and really going, we're a public school, but we're proud and we work hard, and we had, there were really academic people, musical, it was a great school. I loved it. So it was a pride thing.
Okay, all right.
Let's ask the fluffies whether they thought it was...
What are the fluffies, for God's sake? What are the fluffies?
The girls who did their hair like this.
What,
it was
like a quiff?
It was the 80s.
Oh, quiff.
Not
Right.
a queer,
Like a
a
backcomb.
girl, like
a backcomb.
hairspray and
No,
like
I don't think so. I
big
would have
hair.
liked it. I went to a school that was really, like we had 500 different uniforms. You couldn't take a step without putting a different one on. And we would do anything to change that.
Right.
Yeah. So
well-
we'd make our uniform shorter and then we'd get a uniform report or we'd have 2 uniform reports out of detention.
Well, the irony is we didn't have any of that.
Okay.
So I introduced it.
Okay. So I guess you probably felt like you were the head of your own club. Is that right?
I've always wanted my own club.
I bet you have.
Or cult. Or...
Aren't you in one? Isn't council a club? So you wouldn't join a club unless you ran it, is that right? Be
or
honest.
if I could curate who was in it and who could be in or out.
Oh, that's
I
like a
did
friendship
join
group.
I joined a book club once.
Yeah, what happened?
It didn't go well.
What book did you read?
Oh, we read. Oh my God, we read
Pride and Prejudice?
No, there was one, and it was about a princess, and it was so
And a pea?
bad.
Princess and a pea?
I don't know. It was awful.
Look, I think
It
book
was
clubs are pretty
awful.
great, actually. I know that there's like a backlash against them because how do you get to be part of a book club if you're not invited?
I know. Well, that's it. So that's the question. How do you meet people? So, look, here, it might be news to you. I am quite extroverted. I don't know if you know that. So I quite like connecting people, but not everyone does. Like, not everyone, if you're more
No, not
introvert-
everybody likes to be bossed around to be connected.
Well, you're introverted. How did you meet people?
Look at me, my God. I'm an introvert extrovert. I'm an extrovert introvert. I can deal with you for so long and then I have to run home.
Right.
I can't deal with you at all.
So how did
yeah.
you meet people?
Oh,
How
well, I
did you
actually
meet?
came, when I came down here, I already had a group of people that I knew, so I was very lucky.
Right.
But I have been nomadic most of my life. I have real people commitment issues, geographical commitment issues. I'm surprised that we've been friends this long. And so when I moved down here, I was already a member of a writers group. I already knew people down here that I might have met. Like I knew lovely Maz, who has got horses, and I met her at Gwingana at a health retreat. And I knew Shona, who was a journalist in my journalist days. And I knew that's probably about it. I knew other Angus Campbell Jones.
Right.
Because my father was friends with him and I think he tried to set me up and it didn't work, clearly. anyway, there's a whole lot of different people I did know over the years. But when I first moved down here, I'd been at a writers' retreat at the Life of Springfield, which is Kinsham Hegedus's place, or used to be. And in that writers' group, there was 10 of us. And, often group dynamics can really make or break a week. And this particular group was really magic. And it was just before COVID, actually. And we didn't know COVID was coming. It was, did anyone? So, really? I don't know. Some people will say they did. Some people will say they did.
Yes.
But we can talk about those woo-woos soon.
Yes.
So anyway, this particular group, we got on so well. There wasn't one of us that didn't like each other. I don't know about now, 5 years later, but back then it was really special and beautiful. And when you're writing, you're very vulnerable anyway. So you are actually, you would hate it. You are actually exposing parts of yourself, right? Like we're doing like tribal drumming and dancing under the moon and all that kind of stuff.
If I cannot.
So we
That's an
bonded.
actual. You didn't
Yeah,
do.
we did. What?
You didn't do dancing under the moon.
I've done the full moon dancing. Yes, I have. Now, I did the full moon dancing out at Springfield as well. Personally, I would prefer the full moon dancing if it was actually like Fisher was DJing or Flume was DJing or there was some really good like DJ music and we were dancing under the moon.
What do you do at full moon? Is it all women or
Well,
is
half your friends are there, to be honest. You'd be surprised who's there. Or half
They
the
might
people
be
you
out
know.
of the
I don't know
club.
if
If I knew, they're out of
they're
the
not in your
club now.
They might not be in a circle. They might be out of circle. But you basically, somebody plays some music and you start moving to the music. And if they're a good DJ, they'll take you on a narrative journey throughout, right? I know
On
you
a
have hashtag
narrative-
journey. Hashtag narrative
journey.
Hashtag blessed. Anyway.
Do you have to have gratitude for the narrative journey?
Well, you could. You could sacrifice something if you wanted. You could, that would be probably quite good. Like sacrifice your hair or bring a friend, sacrifice them on the fire. So then you start dancing, and as the full moon is lit, right? So there's no lights. You're just dancing under the the light of the
Oh, it
full moon.
literally
So no
is
one can
at the
see
full
you.
moon.
Well, they can
Well,
under
they
moonlight.
can see you.
But they're not looking at you because they're too busy trying to figure out what their next move is, right? And then, but once you let go and you let your body dance,
right.
then, you know,
Are there drugs or alcohol involved?
Well, I would like there to be. There wasn't when I went. I thought there was going to be.
Really?
I got there and I was like, excuse me? Is there only
It's
beef Wellington
just-
on the menu?
Maybe that's the key. Bit of mushroom focus.
So exactly. So I had a writers group, and then throughout
Right.
COVID, every week we would get on Zoom, and we would read out loud. No, did we read out loud? I don't think we read out loud. Actually, there is a
Really?
reading out loud in Bundanoon group. No, in Robbo. Reading aloud in Robbo. I think that's quite
Is
funny.
it reading loud?
No,
Or
aloud.
Aloud. Reading in accents?
Aloud.
Reading it. Can you do it in different ways?
In
Or-
different voices.
Yes.
Oh, God, I'd be running out the door as fast as I could. Didn't your husband do that on your first date?
Oh, Chris, when we were first... No, I've never been on a date.
Oh, why not? What happened?
No, I don't do dates.
Oh.
I've only had 2 boyfriends. Chris is one of them.
Okay, well,
I
we're not
didn't
going to
do
go down my
dates.
track. Yep. Okay.
So Chris and I were at dinner in Newtown, and he was an actor originally, and he's speaking to me in all of these different accents, you know, Scottish, whatever. And I was just like...
This wasn't a red flag for you?
Well, I said to him, can you just speak to me in your actual voice?
Right.
And
didn't watch it because it was probably like when David Beckham started speaking.
he had, I'm not joking, in the Thai restaurant on King
do you
Street, he had a full existential crisis
Oh, my God.
where he didn't know what his real voice was.
Oh, no.
And so he's like, yes, yes, yes. And I was like, oh, my God. Like,
Well
I
done
don't
to you.
even-
You still married him. You still married him. Anyway, back to me.
Sorry.
So then so I found it easier to meet friends because I had friends here already.
Yeah.
But it was COVID, so you weren't really allowed out. I would sneak out to
Right.
different people's houses for dinner. I was one of those people.
Yes.
Because what else are you going to do? I was on my own. My father had died.
Yeah.
My business was dying. Like, what was I going to
Yeah.
do? Like,
Yeah, it
sit
was
at home the whole
crazy
time. It was
time.
horrible and crazy.
Crazy time.
But as you said before, like I used to, because I'm nomadic, I've lived all around the world and I last about 2-3 years and I'll move on.
Yeah.
I would always throw a dinner party wherever I started. And you were saying before about COVID, how after COVID there's no dinner parties.
I really feel before COVID, that was something, and I took a lot of joy in that too. I love connecting people, actually. I think I get more joy out of the connecting of people and seeing who then becomes friends or whatever. We would go
Because you
to
want the credit.
I give them all a badge. All the people have to wear a badge.
I'm connected through Nicole.
That's right.
This is your cult. It's the connected cult. The cult of the connected.
I've actually implanted something into
Oh,
them. They
no.
don't know.
Hang on a second. Oh. Right. Wonder what was in my neck. Yeah.
Anyway, but I think before COVID, you'd all the time be going over to people's houses for drinks or dinner parties or whatever, and it stopped in COVID. And I think we're only just starting to relearn that we need to do that again. And it's
I
really
don't know. I
sad.
think the Tudor house mums have learnt for quite a while now.
Speaking of
Yep, go for
which, we did some research for this podcast episode.
On.
And you found the Swingers Club.
Well, I did find the Swingers Club. I
you
found more than
texted-
one, but I texted it to you and you wouldn't
I got
open it.
scared.
You wouldn't
I got
open it.
scared. I didn't want to open it.
Well, I don't blame you because I looked into S&M clubs.
I was scared of the algorithm, and I was also scared of accidentally clicking
Yeah, exactly.
on
right.
liking
Well, I've had
something.
nothing but latex and gift mask things in my algorithm ever since.
But it only had 15 members.
Well, that's because that was only one of them. If you actually
There's
Google
more.
Swingers Club Southern Highlands, you'll see that there's heaps of them. But I think they're all those. I think they're clickbait, to be honest. And I mean, how terrifying! What if you clicked on it and half your friends were in there?
the chances of knowing someone are actually really high.
Yeah, they're pretty high. Yeah, I'm a swinger.
That's
No, I'm not. No, I'm so not. I'd need a partner for that, wouldn't I? I don't have that. So, yeah, we did look into those. We have looked into quite a few clubs, to be honest. What are some of the...
Well, I do love, though, sort of linked to swingers.
Yeah.
You know that the Southern Highlands used to be the New South Wales nudist capital.
What, Bong Bong Street? What?
No. Lovely Dave Sell. His dad, Colin, ran River Island down at the Wallandilly River.
Sounds like a clothing brand.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's not-
No,
what is
it was
it?
nudist.
What was
it
it?
was nudist colony.
And how do you know? Would you go?
Well, no. Well, do you know the way I first found out about it? I was 18 at a friend's place and friend from school, and we were hanging out at their house, and there was a photo album on the coffee table. I'm like, hey, Jason, can I flick through? He's like, yeah. And I'm flicking through, and then there's these photos of his mother and stepdad in the nude with groups of old people playing tunnel ball.
God.
I can still
Tunnel ball?
visualise.
That's pretty
I'm
bad. Was it
not
tunnel ball? What kind of tunnel was it?
Yeah, they were literally like bending over. And I am still traumatised by it.
Well, there's nothing like seeing your friend's stepfather's penis to bring you closer together, is there?
And
Here's
I
my
went-
family photo album.
Let's just say I wasn't the most experienced
Is it-
18-year-old either.
Oh, of course, because you had two boyfriends.
Yeah, not then. Not I had no boyfriends
okay.
at that stage.
Who was before Chris? You're not going to tell me, are you?
Jonathan.
We love Jonathan.
Yes.
We love Jonathan. Was he at Barrel High?
No.
No. Okay. Just wanted to check whether he still had the blazer or not.
No. No.
So there's no nudist camp now, but there probably is a nudist
They've
club.
only just sold it though. They've only
Okay.
just sold it.
I wonder what they're
there
gonna make it.
was. I was also in Dan Murphy's.
Oh, yeah.
Are
you there often?
No, I don't go there at all. And about a year or so ago, here's another way of meeting people. The dog park. When we were in Sydney, we met a lot of people in the
you do
dog
meet people,
park.
but you meet weird people at the Barrel Dog Park.
Well,
Oh my God, the dog park on Centennial, those people are terrifying.
there's all the
They're
different dogs.
terrifying.
What if?
But the Mossvale Dog Park's much better. The
it?
Centennial Dog Park is really quite
What about
terrifying.
the Mittagong one?
I've not actually been to the Mittagong one because I take my friends' dogs down to 60-foot falls.
So do you just borrow dogs to
No, I go
meet
with her and her
people?
friends.
Do you borrow
But you know, it is funny because when I lived in Telluride in Colorado, I knew all of the dog names if I walked down the main street, but I didn't
Yes.
know the people's names.
Yeah.
And there was a town that talked a lot about community, speaks a lot about community. And I thought, I'm going to go spend a ski season there and it'll be great because it's all about
Yeah.
community. But it literally wasn't. They didn't walk their talk. It was all
Right.
very surface. Oh, isn't everything great? Oh, it's all so great. Oh, it's so good. We're
Yeah.
all about community, but they really weren't.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you move to a new town, there is often, well, I mean, that was a very small town, so I get that.
Right.
There's often the gatekeepers
Right.
that decide whether you're allowed in or not. I
Does
don't feel that
Bundanoon
here.
or Berrima, Yeramble, Hilltop have those?
Oh, I don't know. Bundanoon's got a lot of cats and crochet.
Do you have to crochet a cat to get? Do you know?
I think they're more open in Bundanoon. I reckon they're probably more open to people coming.
Do you know
in.
what?
Yeah.
My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, someone, that
There's no one
Bundanoon-
here, it's just me.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Is Bundanoon, I think that when you move there, they actually give people a little hamper or something.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh my God, that's so
Isn't
nice.
that sweet?
I just got some McDonald's trash in my letterbox. Someone picked up outside the pavement off
Come
my
on,
street.
Mittagong.
Come on,
We're
Mittagong.
going to pick up our
What's
game.
Mittagong's club vibe? I don't freaking know. One's like Mittagong, one's gong, one's gong. No,
don't.
it's all different
I
types of
love
Mittagong.
Mittagong.
I live
I
in
love
Mittagong. I can say
Mittagong.
that, right? Can't I? I've probably just been cancelled. Anyway, and then of course we could move to Burradoo. Like people in Burradoo, they love other people in Burradoo. It's like Wahroonga without a cafe. But it's going to have a cafe soon. It's going to be 3 blue ducks. It's going to be
In
so
the new
awesome.
year. In the new year.
We have to wait for them to actually open
Yes.
the doors on that. You probably can't comment on that.
No, I can't. I'm not going to.
Okay, don't go there. Don't go
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So you noticed in the club situation when you were researching clubs that the community associations were in different areas, but not all of the villages.
No, they're in basically almost all of the villages have community associations. The main towns don't.
Right.
So Bundanoon, Yeramble, Hilltop, Colovale, Robbo,
Right.
Exeter, they all have community associations. Barrel, Mittagong, Mossvale don't. So why is that? Why are the bigger towns? Why?
Maybe they don't like each other. I don't actually know. I think, but if you actually look a little bit further into it, so we live in Mittagong. We love Mittagong. The playhouse is fantastic, but it's not open, so there's not a community area that you go and meet at.
Yeah.
In Bowral, you'd meet in Bong Bong Street. You just see people anyway.
Yeah.
In Mossvale, it's mainly young families that have moved there. They did have a chamber of commerce because there's also those kind of clubs, the business clubs. I don't know about Mossvale. I don't actually have the answer to that. Although there is there are guide halls and there's a community hall in Exeter. Yeah. Is there a community hall in Mittagong? I know that there's behind the library. There's
and there's the
hall.
CWA hall.
I love CWA.
Well, what about all those old school clubs? So
Rotary. Lions Club.
Your dad was in
My dad loved Rotary. Yep.
Loved a bit of Rotary.
The Rotary's great. It teaches you how to public speak.
See, I didn't know that.
No, you actually have to get up and do like a 3-minute or 10-minute talk about something. I mean, you can choose your subject. I mean, I'm making it up as I go along right now, but it is about public speaking and while you're meeting other people. So you are learning a skill at the same time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But the one, and then, I mean, I think you've got, so what is it about our towns? If you move into Mittagong or Bowral or Mossvale, how do you meet people?
Well, there are different tribes. There's socioeconomic tribes. Do you only ever hang out with people that are as rich as you or as poor as you are? Do you only hang out with people that come from the same country you grew up in? So, for instance, when I was living in America, I always swore that I wouldn't be one of those people that only hung out with Australians.
Right.
But there was a real cultural divide between Americans being so nice and isn't everything great? And you'd throw a dinner party waiting for the return invitation and it would never arrive. And then eventually I just went, actually, I'm just going to hang out with the Australians in Park City because we all got each other. So you do end up in that kind of Australian tribe. And down here, we need to do an episode on Nepalese tribes because there's a lot of Nepalese people down here, which is fantastic, and a lot of Indians as well. What are some other cultures? Because I just don't feel like we're multicultural enough.
Well, we never have been. It's only recently. So I think Nepalese is the fastest growing sort of community in the Highlands.
Are we the largest Nepalese per capita community in New South Wales? I heard something about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I don't know about that. Yeah. But I think that,
So do you only hang out with people that get you because they also grew up in the same country as you and understand your own cultural humour?
Yeah.
Do you only hang out with fellow people? Well, actually, an interesting one, of course, is there's friendship groups and then there's community groups. There's tribes and collectives. Yes. And if you don't share the same value system, can you be in the same group?
Well, I think a really interesting thing around that is looking at things like sporting groups. Not that I'm an expert in sporting clubs, but there's an awful lot of them. Now, I think sporting clubs are really egalitarian. You come together for a certain, whatever sport you love, whether it's rugby league or whether it's polo cross or whatever it might be, but you are all there because of that love of the sport, but there might be people from all walks of life in that.
Well, there would be, particularly soccer. That's why soccer is the real football and why the real football is an international game, because all you need is a ball, and the ball can even be made out of crumpled up sellotape that you've created a ball from, and you just need some space and you can kick it. Yeah. And there is your leveler of a game, right?
Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting point because there's something about meeting people who are like-minded and your tribe, and I think there's something about a really important part of a healthy community is actually meeting and hanging out with people who are totally different to you.
Yes.
Because you need to learn and understand how to deal with them and
how to deal with them. That sounds terrible. That sounds awful.
No, how to I'm thinking of council.
Oh, okay. Did anyone hear that? Did I hear that? What was that? I didn't quite hear that. Right. Go on. Yes. Continue. Councillor Smith. But here's the thing, right? So there isn't enough, it's like Ali Brandy, looking for Ali Brandy, where they have that classic line where they go, the poor marry the poor, the North Shore marry the North Shore, the Wogs marry the Wogs. Sometimes the North Shore integrates into the eastern suburbs and they marry each other. And that's it. And it's a classic line. And that is it really hit home when that movie came out in the 80s and that book, because that is exactly what it was. And, You know, you move to the Highlands and I think, are we just a slice, just a microcosm of Sydney life? Are we just a microcosm of, it was very white down here.
Yeah.
It's very rich on the surface. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
On the outside, it's very rich looking.
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to, that egalitarian stuff. That's why I think volunteer groups are really good. Land care, bush care, Oz Harvest. Not because you're going to volunteer to give food to people that you've never met before, because you're actually doing land care and bush care. You're going to meet other people that also care about the land. Mm-hmm. And how do you feel better about yourself in a community where you don't see yourself? You give.
Yeah, giving is a really important aspect of that. And I think when you're giving back and involved or actually connecting with totally different people to yourself, it actually makes you feel better. Whereas if you're only surrounded by people like you, I mean, you've written a book.
It's like an echo chamber. You're just living in an echo chamber.
Oh, and you see that happen online. I actually think it gets really toxic. People get in this horrible echo chamber where they're so nasty and so awful to anyone who's remotely different. And that scares me.
It's not
That
just the
upsets
difference
me.
too, though. It's also that thing that, for instance, I'm sitting here right now freaking out about the fact that I called Mittagong gong, right? Because I'm terrified of being cancelled, because we're not allowed to say things even for humour anymore because we get misconstrued. And because it is yes or no, black or white, and if you believe this and I don't believe that, we can't have a discussion about it. We can only have a shouting match and no one's listening, and it can never move forward and progress and have progression.
Yeah.
So, and that's all around the world. That's been since COVID, when everybody shut up. I shut up. I went very silent in COVID, petrified of being cancelled, petrified of losing my business. And also the world, the political world that it is, and also the algorithms that we get. We get nothing but you just stay in the same echo chamber telling you that you're right, that your voice is right.
Or you start competing. If you're only looking at or hanging out with people like you, it starts to get competitive, I think, or feeling I'm not as good as that person. I'm not. I mean, you wrote
a book
wrote
about it. Yeah, I did
a
actually.
book.
But that was female competition. And thank you for mentioning that. You can still buy it. Anything she can do, I can do better. Random House. Now Penguin. Yeah, but that was about getting women to compete with each other in a constructive way, not a destructive way. It wasn't about shutting it down. It was actually about acknowledging it and speaking openly about your feelings of less than or your feelings of lack. And when you talk about that stuff and you touch the vulnerability that you might find in moonlight dancing, Nicole, you might actually connect a bit more. You're not into the woo-woo, are you?
I'm not doing that.
We're not going to get you to do any tribal dancing, are we?
No, that's not ever happening.
Yeah.
All right. Something else I'd really like to explore, and I've had a few chats with friends about this, is what happens when a really lovely friend, my friend's mum, her husband passed away, and suddenly she discovered that she was no longer being invited to dinner parties with couples and she didn't know why. What happens there? Now, is that linked to when you lose a partner?
No, it's linked to just being single. So if you lose a partner through death, divorce, or choice of just not having a partner, then your social world is very, very different to the social world of couples, particularly in a regional area versus a city. So what ends up happening is all the single women end up with the gays, because the gays are lots of fun, and they're also they don't care whether you're married or not, because what do they care?
So are people threatened, or is
No, I don't think it's a threatened thing. I think it is literally, if you're LGBTQI, it's more, you're more, I would like to think you're more tolerant of everyone and everybody's situation and everybody's situation in life. And you just get people to come and party with you or have dinner parties with you because they're fun, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when someone's having a dinner party, they have this thing of numbers, and it's got to be even numbers, and it's got to be this gender and that gender. And maybe that's just our generation, to be honest, because I don't think
I'm in the 50s.
I don't think well, you kind of are. It's a nice dress you're wearing. And your nice little pearly thing.
I haven't got my pearls on today. I'll wear my pearls next
I mean, we
time.
should do a whole episode on dating in the Highlands, which we definitely will do.
How do you find someone?
Well,
I wouldn't know. I'm good at giving dating advice, given I've never been on one.
Which is probably not that good. Anyway.
But then what about blokes? Okay, men are dreadful at making the effort on the whole.
But they have that fantastic man walk and talk, which is something that you can walk with other men and talk. There's also the Tough Guy Book Club, which I think is at the Royal, which you can just join. It's not one of those book clubs you have to be invited to.
Not like Fish.
No, Fish. Hey, and I've got Milena's place in Fish. Thank you very much. Film Institute.
I can't believe I didn't know about Fish.
Yeah, Fish. Well, yeah, I'm the one that told you, so you don't get first dibs. I do. Anyway, that's the film group.
We're going to explain what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the film. I want to say Institute, but it's not.
Films in the Southern Highlands.
Films in the Southern Highlands. Yeah, it's a group. You see a film every month, and then you discuss it, etc. But the Tough Guys Book Club is at the Royal. You don't have to be invited. You can just show up. The Bowral Book Club is at the Imperial once a month as well. So there are book clubs there that you can just show up to. You don't have to be invited, which is much better, I think, because some of the book clubs here are quite like high pressure. Like, oh my God, like you might say, I just want to read some chick lit. And they're like, oh, no, we're doing Dickens. And you're like, oh, really? Do we have to? I thought we would like drink some bitch diesel and, have a bit of a chat. By the way, that's rosé.
And there's another group, isn't there? Stitch and Bitch in Barwang?
Yeah. I think that's quite fun. How good is that?
I think I'm really bad at sewing.
So good for a name.
But I really like the name.
But you know what I went to the other day? It was the Zephyr Choir. And it was incredible. And Centennial Vineyards, and they had a quintet. I think that's 5 string instruments, right?
Yes, well done.
And then they had our friend Stephen Barnett. He was in the group as well singing. And there was a smaller group of a cappella, and then there was the entire big group of a cappella.
Yes.
And from the moment they played that first string, I started sobbing. And I couldn't, and I was in the front row, which was really bad.
What
because
did it do?
There's something about music that's in fantastic acoustics that's just like a metre from you that can you'd know if you came to Moonlight Dancing, can really touch the heart. And it was really bad. I didn't stop crying the whole way through. I kept thinking, next song I'll be all right, next song will be all right.
Wow.
And the second violinist kept looking at me going, are you okay? Are you okay? And apparently she went up to one of my friends afterwards and went, that woman that was sitting next to you was distraught.
Were we really bad?
They were so good. And there's more than just them for singing groups. I think there's like Highlands, Berrima Singers, the pub choir. At the Surveyor General, that's so fun. I do love the pub choir.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do love the pub choir.
Awesome.
So there's, you can go along to those kind of things without having to be invited, because a lot of these club things where you do meet people, you have to be invited into it. So how do you get invited to be part of that club?
If you don't know someone.
Yeah, if you don't know someone.
I think that's a key here is the best thing is if you know someone and someone can invite you. And I think personally it's a good reminder to me personally to remember to invite different people to things. Or if someone feels new, or maybe you realise they've gone through a rough stage or something, actually make the effort and be proactive.
Often you don't actually know what's going on in somebody else's life. You actually really don't.
You don't.
They're masking and presenting really great stuff.
Yeah.
Pink drinks, you don't have to be invited to that. And that's LGBTQI, and they're always a great drinks thing. I don't know when they are. I think they're once a month. There's also and trivia on a Tuesday night at the Royal. Just quietly.
I can't do trivia.
No,
either.
you can't. You're not invited.
I'm so bad.
But again, when I think about trivia, and
how do you concentrate for long enough?
I take a dexamphetamine. when we and some bitch diesel.
You're not joking. What colour's the bitch diesel?
Very light rosé. Has to be very, very light. But then I started thinking about trivia, and I thought, how do you go to trivia if you're not invited on a team?
Oh, yeah,
so you have to invite. So I think that what trivia here needs to do is what the wellness retreats do around the world. They have this one table in the restaurant where single people, but solo people can go and sit and have a conversation if they want over dinner, right? So I think trivia should have that table there as well.
But beyond trivia, okay, say you're moving to the Highlands and you're new here, what would be a great idea? What would be a nice thing, a nice idea like that of helping people to connect and find their own tribe? Like beyond...
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. We haven't talked about Dungeons and Dragons. That'd be a good thing to do, wouldn't it? Down the main street with your swords and your capes.
There's
lots of Dungeons and Dragons.
There's a medieval reenactment group
there is.
too.
There is. And there's all, I just always want to, reenact that hung, drawn and quartered. What was that thing? Let's reenact that. But there's a great games place in Mossville called In Games, INN, In Games. Someone was telling me about it the other day. And you can go along to game nights and play games with other people.
What sort of games? What are you talking about?
I was hoping it was Twister, but that could get a bit feral if people haven't washed. But it's not Twister.
Imagine if it was Twister. Imagine if you turned up and it was Twister.
You'd be a bit mortified, wouldn't you?
That's the swingers club.
Yeah, that's the swingers club. All 15 of them. I
bet we know
it's games
someone.
like there are board games, but there's also like you can go and do game swaps and things.
What's a game swap?
Well, you take a game, you swap it for another game, don't you? Like, isn't it like
know.
Nintendo and PlayStation?
Oh,
no, it's probably not that.
electronic games.
Like gamers. I don't actually, to be honest, I don't actually know.
You just made all that up.
No. In games is true. It's in Mossville.
Yeah, but anything after you said in games, you made up.
Potentially. Potentially I did. Potentially. Maybe not. Anything that was true in that, I did not make up.
What about Dachshunds of the Southern Highlands?
Oh.
You could join that.
Yeah, I know, but
Do you
they're
have to have
anxiety-ridden, those dogs. Like, can you imagine?
Do you have to have a dog or can you just go along if you like dogs and you don't have
You can
one?
just pretend your dog's in the toilet. Where's your dog? It's at the toilet. So dogs are a great way of meeting other people, even if you don't have one, clearly.
So a barrel pistol club, Rachel? You could.
No, don't put a gun in my hand.
No?
Yeah, not a good idea. Yeah.
I'm quite a good shot.
Yeah, well, so am I. That's the problem. What else is there? What else have you got there?
What about the Southern Highlands Older Women's Network?
What are you saying?
No, I'm not. But what I really love, I'm going to quote their Facebook page. This, I think, is So Highlands. All right, listen to this. Yeah. The group meets monthly on the second Monday of each month, and members are encouraged to arrive at 1:45 p.m. for the meeting to commence at 2 p.m.
That is so Highlands. When I first moved down here, that is so Highlands. I was invited to a dinner party. There you go. It was pre-COVID. Is it pre-COVID? Yeah. Oh, no, my father had died, so it was COVID, right? And I was invited to this dinner party and I was going with a friend of mine. And, of course, they had to invite the two single females together because the numbers have to be even. Although that friend of mine that went with me is now got a boyfriend and God knows where she is. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Anyway, so... That's all a bit of a joke. We do not. So we were going to this dinner party. First of all, it was a 5:30 dinner party. I was like,
wow.
Well, is it at a nursing home? Like, what, 5:30? So being from Sydney, I'm like, we'll show up at 6, I reckon.
Yeah,
maybe 6:15. Yeah. Anyway, at 5:35, we got a call going, where are you? We've been waiting for you.
No.
We're here. I'm like, it's like literally been 5
so
minutes. Like, what? No, don't. It's not you. It's them. Remember that. It's not you. It's them. But it's funny because people are always on time and then they always
from me,
leave.
apparently.
So, no, you're never on time. So then, but you always do text and say I'm on the way. And then, like if you go to trivia on a Tuesday night at 8:30, boom, hot pub is empty.
Really?
Gone. Like it's like 2 hours. That's all we're allowed.
So,
then boom, gone. There's no
that's-
hanging around, chatting.
That is a
so how do you
Highlands
make
thing.
friends?
Yeah. And why is it? Do you think it's worse in winter though too?
Oh my God, no. Winter, you just need to relocate.
Right.
Somebody said to me the other day, I was talking to them about this particular episode, and they said, yeah, look, if you're under 50, just go back to Sydney. And I went, oh my God, that's a bit full on.
During winter or
no, just now.
together?
But she lives in Winslow, and I'm like, you're under 50 living in Winslow on your own.
Yeah.
You need to join some clubs.
Yes. Or
You need to
create
join
your
some
own.
clubs. Or create your own. What would you call your club?
I think I want some, it'd have to have a really good brand.
Would it?
But it needs to be like that Nexium or something that's so you don't know what it is unless you really know what it is.
I think that's the Masons.
I don't want to notice. Did you not notice my handshake? My special handshake?
Or I'm like, and are you serving Kool-Aid? What are we drinking? Anyway, look, what we will do is we will put a whole ton of these clubs and places to go and things to do in the episode guide. So if you are looking for some new people to meet and some new things to extend your skills, then you'll be able to find it in the episode guide.
And there's also the Fold, I think,
is
a
they've got a
great
one,
resource.
Yeah.
And I actually discovered Council's website has a huge list. I couldn't believe
Isn't that funny how the Fold has a great resource, but Council has a huge list? Yes, the Fold has a really good list too. Yep.
No, I was blown away by how many clubs there were.
I think half of them aren't updated, to be honest. I did look at some of them and I was like,
from 1985.
Yeah, it's kind of like the potholes. Sorry, pothole free zone, pothole free podcast. I know you take it personally when I say that, but don't worry, I'm just a friend who almost died on a Vespa.
Why are you riding your Vespa? You could start a Vespa club because I noticed you're not the only Vespa
I know there's a couple of other
now.
Vespa drivers have arrived.
So you don't like that?
No, I don't like that, right? I don't
you
like
want to
it.
be the only.
I want to be the only
You
one.
want a club that's only you.
I do. We're very much alike, just quietly.
That's so funny.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, well, that's it. So Highlands.
Thank you, Rachel.
All right, don't forget to like us on Instagram. Just like us.
Just like us. Anywhere.
Instagram, Facebook, and do we have anything else?
Real life.
YouTube,
In real life.
YouTube. Yeah, if you see us in real life, keep walking. No. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the So Highlands podcast. If you like what you hear, be sure to review and subscribe via your favourite podcast platform. Like at So Highlands Pod on Instagram and at So Highlands on Facebook and YouTube.